The movie don't say they will come and then build it. It says build it and they will come. Well, I realize that's just a secular little movie, but there is some biblical truth in that. It's not seeing and then believing, it's believing and then seeing. Yep. So I want you all to pray as a youth building into this place where these kids can have their own place, and Shane is able to develop ministries, and we can get them out of the Walmart parking lot.
Amen.
Hello? Well, how can we do that with such a little group? Well, how did we get this with such a little group of people? How are we doing anything? We don't have enough people here to substantiate this. If I was a banker, I'd never give you people $1 because you don't have enough people to warrant giving you a loan. But God told this bank in town to give us a loan. Right. I remember it's the craziest thing because my occupation was like a banker. I didn't work for a bank. I worked for corporations. But my occupation was to determine who was creditworthy and how much credit they should get. And I'm not talking about $1,000. I mean, my customers owed us $100 million. That was what I did for a living. I was good at it. I protected our company. Before the 7-Eleven stores went bankrupt, I called the president of the company one day and I said, we got to shut down 7-Eleven. He said, you're out of your mind. And I said, well, they're going to be out of business in 60 days, and we got to take some action. That was what I did for a living. And we were the only company that when they filed bankruptcy, we didn't lose anything. I wouldn't give his church a penny by my carnal training, but in the spirit realm, God has done something else. Right. And he moved that mountain. And when I went to First National Bank and I said, I want $65,000 to pay for the parking lot, the guy said, okay. And I'm sitting there going, I'm doing stuff like I can give you a cash flow analysis, I can give you a balance sheet, I can give you a P&L, and he's going, yeah, you can have it. Huh? Wait a minute, I just spent 2 days putting together this beautiful presentation. No, that's no problem. I'll be glad to give you the money. We serve a God whose awesomeness is immeasurable, who you and I cannot even understand the full scope of his divine authority and his sovereign reign. We think we can, but we really can't, because we're just finite and he's infinite. We're dimensionally controlled and he's not. You know, I'm a three-dimensional creation. I can't go beyond that, at least not at this point. But God's not bound by any of that. He's not bound by time, and he's not bound by dimension. And so, you know, when we're talking about God, you've really got to get it in your mind, my gracious, we're all here, and he's there when it comes to the intellectual comprehension of all this. But this much I know, he's there. Okay? I may not be able to argue my points theologically, but I know he's there. And you know, they may not ever ask me to come on Fox to explain the Christian viewpoint, but I know he's there. 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 I can't defend him. He doesn't need defending, but I know he's there. He doesn't need me to apologize. I hate the term apologetics. You hear that a lot in theological circles. He doesn't need apologizing. He's there. He's God. And just like I said on Sunday, do you know how many civilizations, how many armies, how many governments, how many nations have come and gone in the past 2,000 years? And still the most preeminent thought in this society today is Jesus Christ. There's nothing beyond that. Think about the history you learned in school. All the people who were the kings of England and the kings of Germany and the Roman emperors and the kings of Spain. And what's happened here, all the presidents we've had. Just think about what you've learned in school, in history, and how many of those people have come and they have gone. All of them. And yet Jesus Christ still commands the attention of the world. They can't stop him, and they can't stop us. Can they put us in prison? Mm-hmm. I suspect if there isn't some sort of a revival in the next 2 decades, ministers will be jailed for saying certain things. If we say homosexuality is a sin, we're going to go to jail. If we say that you can only get to God through Christianity, we're going to go to jail. They're going to call it a hate crime.
Like the little 11-year-old girl that was jailed in Texas because she was reading her Bible in the schoolyard?
Yes, ma'am. See, it's already starting to break out in certain places. But already in Canada, they cannot say that homosexuality is a sin. There is a law in their books that if a preacher says it from the pulpit, he can be arrested and incarcerated for saying it. So it's coming. But you see, that don't scare me. Because when Paul was in prison, the walls fell down. When Peter was in prison, the angel walked up to him and said, "What in the world are you doing laying there? Get yourself up, gird your loins, put on your coat and your shoes. We got business to do."